The Renaissance period was a really interesting one. It brought the separation of the Church into the Protestant Reformation and Counter-Reformation movement. This caused havoc in society and, most important, in the Church. During this time, both sides of the Reformation made use of all forms of art possible, most important painting and architecture. In this exchange of ideas, the styles developed to this the traditional Catholic teaching become known as Baroque. This style was used as propaganda to spread the Roman Catholic Church's interpretation of the Word of God. Baroque is overtly emotional and strong on sensory appeal. It also be described as didactic, theatrical, and dynamic. Architecture is usually recognizable by its excessive ornamentation, unconcealed emotionalism, and drama created by light from undisclosed source. These effects were achieved through the dynamic play of concave against convex curves.
The first example of Baroque architecture is Il Gesù. It was designed by Giacomo Vignola, whom is responsible for the design of the plan, in collaboration with Giacomo della Porta, whom designed the facade as well as the dome. In plan, however, Il Gesù, which is to your left, is compared to Leon Battista's Alberti's Santa Andrea. Both house transverse barrel vaulted chapels as opposed to the traditional hallways with columns. Yet, Vignola decided to shorten the transept as well as the nave in order to achieve great acoustic control that will then allow for preaching to be heard quite clearly. When it comes to the facade, Il Gesù's design can be traced back to another one of Alberti's churches. This is Santa Maria Novella in Florence, which is to your right. Il Gesù, though, makes use of classical orders to replace the traditional Florentine subdivision of the building. Also, in Il Gesù, pairs of pilasters step out of the shape, projecting planes that cast shadows, which is one of the key features of Baroque architecture. In addition, in Il Gesù's facade, one can find a pair of engaged columns that support a triangular pediment, which is then framed by a segmental pediment supported by flanking pilasters. It's interesting to see that an architectural design style used hundreds of years ago is still prevalent and used in more recent buildings. An example of this is very close from us, that is the Christ Fellowship building, which has the very Baroque detail found on the top of the building, which are the undulating formations all around the cupola, similar to the ones in Il Gesù and many other churches.